I've spent the last 8 years of my life trying to get rich and helping thousands of people achieve the same objective. And I'm now 27 years old and I'm a decamillionaire a couple of times over. And I have seen hundreds of strategies, tactics, shiny objects come and go to help people get rich. I've seen it all, right? I've seen the internet stuff, I've seen the off-internet stuff, I've seen the strategies, the fast ways, the easy ways, the quick ways, like all of these little shiny objects that you've probably seen to get rich. What I can tell you is that from experience, having actually done this and becoming a millionaire at a young age, is that nothing comes close to having a simple personal life. Like, I've tried everything. I'm not even joking. I've tried literally all of the strategies that you've seen, all the shiny objects, all of the big promises, all the products. I've tried them all. But in my experience, the thing that made me rich and the thing that actually turned me into a millionaire quickly, as fast as possible before I'm 30, was keeping my simple life personal. And the reason that this happens and the reason this is because in order to get rich, you need to have three things in abundance. You need to have energy in abundance, you need to have clarity in abundance, and you need to have focus in abundance. Energy is basically how much energetic potential you have to give to a business or a career. So like how much brain power and how much mental capacity do you have for this thing. Clarity is knowing exactly what you want and how you're going to get it. And focus is being able to stay on that path and not deviate. What people try and do is they try and get rich, but they forget that really their financial situation is a reflection and extension of the rest of their personal situation. And what I've done over the last several years of becoming a millionaire and getting rich is made my personal life as simple as humanly possible. And there's lots of different things that you can do to make this happen. And I'm going to give you some live examples and walk you around my apartment in a second to show you some things that I've done to make my life as simple as possible. But I want to explain why first. So when you have a business and when you try and get rich, you have a lot of complication. Getting rich is a very complicated thing. It's not this impossible task. But it requires you to solve lots of problems, exert lots of energy, and figure things out. And it's complicated, it's not easy, right? As I'm sure you're well aware. And the thing is that in your life you have essentially two lives. You have your professional life and you have your personal life. Your professional life is where you partake in actions and behaviors that are conducive to you making money and getting rich, i.e. starting the business, working on the career, or doing what you need to do to make money. Outside of your office and your workspace and your career and your business, you have your personal life. This is where, everything that you do, everything that isn't related to making money. So your relationships, your wardrobe, what you eat, what you listen to, what you watch, what you do outside of work, what you do in your free time, how you sleep, like your personal behaviors, right, that aren't related to making money. This is the problem, is people don't understand that there is a relationship between what you do in your personal time and what you do in your work time. And basically what you want to try and do is understand this key point right here. It takes a lot of energy, clarity, and focus to get rich. And you need to put every single ounce of energy, clarity, and focus that you've got into your business or into your career so you can get rich. What a lot of people try and do is they try and allocate energy, clarity, and focus to their business or their work and try and make money, but they also try and allocate energy, clarity, and focus to their personal life. And so, with their personal relationships or their hobbies or what they get up to outside of work, they put energy, clarity, and focus into. And if you want to get rich quickly, as fast as possible, with as little issue as possible, in the laziest way possible, it needs to be done by putting all of your energy and clarity and focus into your business. And what people try and do is they have these complicated, complex personal lives. They have relationships that require loads of energy and effort. They have lifestyles that require loads of energy and effort, and it's not conducive at all. And you see this happen to people who do become successful and do get rich, where they have a nice simple personal life at the beginning, then they start making millions of dollars, and then suddenly they go and start buying Lamborghinis and watches and going out to parties and hanging out with Instagram models and being obsessed with whatever the hell, right? And what happens is they get rich and they make a load of money, and then they basically increase the complexity of their personal life by adding all this crap, and then all of their energy and clarity and focus is now about maintaining their personal life and their lust and their objects and their status and their freedom than it is about the business. And there's hundreds of thousands of examples through history, entrepreneurial history, where people have done that, gone to the complicated personal life side and failed. Example, Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson becomes the greatest boxer in the world at one point. That's up for debate, right? Whatever. He then goes and spends all of his money buying tigers and mansions and all this crap. Then suddenly he becomes a really bad boxer and has to sort of rebuild himself. And that's a prime example of someone having an incredibly simple personal life whilst training, and he becomes the best in the world because his personal life was so simple. Then he makes it and it becomes complicated. So let me show you a couple of examples of this. So I can show you that I practice what I preach. So here we are in my apartment, and the first thing you can do to drastically simplify your personal life so that you can basically put as much energy, clarity, and focus into your business as possible is your diet and what you eat. So this isn't going to be possible for most of you because what I do is a little bit extreme and expensive, but the point is clear. So here we have my freezer, and if I bring you down here, what you can see in this freezer is a lot of steaks, okay? So you can see here, I've got a lot of steaks. And basically, all I eat all day, every day is steaks, fatty ribeyes. And if we look in my fridge here, you can see there's nothing. There's just steaks and beef tallow, because that's all I eat. And the reason that I only eat steaks is, well, the carnivore thing is up for debate, and we can discuss that another day. But the reason that I only eat red meat is because it's so simple, and it doesn't require any energy, clarity, or focus. It's so simple. And the point here is, what you want to do is you want to try and get a diet plan that is just simple, and you eat the same thing every day, where your nutritional requirements are met without you having to think about it. Let's say that you've just finished a 12-hour workday. Now you've got to go and decide what you're going to cook and how you're going to do it, and then you've got to do the washing up and the dishes. It's way too much of a mess. Another thing that you want to do as well is get a cleaner. So as soon as you start making some decent money, you want to get a cleaner, because you don't want to be fucking around with all of the crap in your in your apartment. Why would you be cleaning if you're making 6 figures, right? But you might not be there yet, so that doesn't matter. But the other thing that I do is I bulk buy everything. So what you can see here, if I show you, is an example of bulk buying. So I like hot sauce, and so what I did when I moved into this apartment was I bought enough salt and pepper and spices and hot sauce and everything, olive oil, etc., for basically a year, which means that I never really have to go back to the shop, which is just basically another way for me to conserve energy. Now this all seems really extreme, and this all seems kind of crazy, but that's what happens, and that's how you get extreme results. So if you want to get extreme results in your personal life, i.e. making a ton of money, then it helps to do extreme things to get there, okay? So that's just one example, is the diet thing. But if I take you downstairs here, I can show you something else that I do, just to drill this point home. Okay, so another example is my wardrobe. So if we have a look in here, this is my wardrobe. And what you'll see is it's just all black stuff. So basically, I have 10 of the same black t-shirt. I have 5 of the same black vest. I have 3 of the same black hoodie. I have 3 of the same black zip-up hoodie that you can see here. And then I have 3 of the same black crew neck tops. And what that means is that when I'm deciding what I have to wear or what I have to do, to go out, I don't have to think about what I'm wearing. There's no energy, clarity, or focus going into my clothing. I literally have a couple of pairs of shoes. So I've got 1 pair of black Crocs. I've got 1 pair of trainers. And then the other thing show you here. I've got one pair of running shoes. So, I've got a pair of shoes for basically any occasion. And what that means, again, is if I'm going out, I'm not having to put any energy, clarity, or focus into what I'm wearing, or what I'm even putting on my feet. If I'm traveling, I need to pack a suitcase, I can get that done in literally under 5 minutes, right? And so this is like, this all seems a little bit extreme, but like I said, extreme measures will deliver extreme results. Another thing that you want to do in your personal life to allow you to get as rich as possible is manage your personal relationships accordingly. So this is going to come across as quite a harsh message, but if I'm ever dating or if I'm ever talking to someone, one of the first criteria that I will have for a girlfriend or a wife is low maintenance. Because, women can bring a lot of complexity into your life because, they are quite complex creatures, and I'm sure that they wouldn't even be upset by me saying that. And, you want a partner that doesn't bring much complexity into your life. Because remember, it's all about the allocation of your energy, clarity, and focus. So you can have a deeply complicated, stressful, time-consuming, energy-sucking, focus-sucking relationship if you want, but you have to understand that will come at the cost of your business. And so when you're looking at romantic partnerships, you need to make sure that the person that you're with is conducive to you being able to work as much as you want. And I get to the point where, if I think that it doesn't matter how beautiful a woman is, it doesn't matter how gorgeous she is, if I think that she is going to require too much of those three things, then I won't see her. And that's quite a cold thing, and that a lot of people would disagree with that idea. But to me, my work and my business is the most important thing in my life, and that might change if I meet someone. But if you're in your late teens, early 20s, and you just want to get as rich as possible, as fast as possible, then it helps to reduce complexity in that way. Another example that I do is you want to have as few hobbies as possible, and you want to listen to as few people as possible. So what a lot of people do is they have 5 YouTubers they watch, they have 2 podcasts they have to listen to, and then they have 4 sports that they do. Anytime that you do something, anything you have in your life that you do routinely takes away your energy, focus, and clarity. And so if you have to constantly keep up with this podcast thing, or you have to watch these new YouTube videos, otherwise you get stressed, or if you have a bunch of hobbies, then it's over. I wanted to learn how to play chess a while ago. I started learning how to play chess, and after about 2 days, I realized I had to stop because it was going to make me a lot poorer. Because chess, it requires energy, clarity, and focus. If you play chess for 2 hours, the decision fatigue you're going to get is insane because you're making so many decisions, right? So basically, I just go to the gym to stay fit and healthy, and I'll do cardio. And every now and then, I might play a racket sport with my friends, but that's it. You don't want to be this sort of athlete wannabe, crazy, sport-based socialite where you're playing a new sport all the time and constantly learning new things. Another example is you don't want to try and learn any instruments. You don't want to learn any languages. You don't want to do have all these new little habits and learn all these new things. It's very tempting to, from a personal life perspective, want to do the whole Duolingo thing, or you want to start learning an instrument, or you want to learn to surf, or you want to learn you want to get your helicopter license or your motorbike license, or whatever the hell, I don't know, right? But you've got to understand that all of these things come at the expenditure of your energy, clarity, and focus. It's impossible to introduce something into your personal life without it taking away from the business and your money. And that's fine. If you want to have a wonderfully balanced personal business life, then you can do that. But you have to understand that rich is not balanced, right? If you want to have a idiosyncratic amount of money, then you have to do something it's unbalanced. To be a millionaire in your 20s is not balanced at all. You're so heavily tipped towards this financial, this financial thing that it has to come at the cost of something else. And I'm telling you right now that it's the personal life. So you want to make your personal life as simple, as straightforward as possible. You want to become boring. And what that allows you to do is instead of having all that energy and that clarity and focus going into this crap, like, oh, I want to learn Spanish. And then I want to also become like a level 2 CrossFit coach. And I also want to become good at yoga. It's like, you can do all those things, or you can just get fucking rich. Because there's only so much of you to go around. There's only so much energy, clarity, and focus you've got, and you need to channel those things into this money thing. And I'm just telling you the truth. This isn't a great, nice message, positive message to deliver. Like, the most successful entrepreneurs that I know are the most boring people. They're not like cultured and wildly educated, and they don't have loads of hobbies and interests. They just work relentlessly, and they got really good at one thing. So yeah, that's honestly probably the best piece of advice I can give you if you want to get rich as soon as possible whilst you're still young. Cheers. Hey, so that's the end of the video. Quick one for some of you. If you are a marketing agency owner, coach or consultant, and you need help getting more clients, there is a link you can click in the description. So if you're struggling to fill your pipeline, get qualified appointments, and get deals over the line, click the link in the description. Full transparency, it's a video of me trying to sell you something. This is only for marketing agencies and coach consultants. So if that's not you, then you can click off and this won't be relevant to you at all. But yeah, check it out. See you soon.